OpenBazaar. And since we're in Miami, why the fuck should anybody care about OpenBazaar? So, with the OpenBazaar in our community, everybody's pretty much divided into two different groups. The one on the left, which really loves us, is willing to wear a t-shirt. They think we're a paradigm shift, amazing, love it. And then your favorite Miami residents from Bitcoin Uncensored like to claim that we're just a shitty Shopify. So today I'm hoping to take a little bit of time to help you understand a little bit more about what OpenBazaar is and why I think it's not really a shitty Shopify. So what is it? If you haven't, wait, how many people have used OpenBazaar here or are aware of it? Okay, great, so most of the room. So OpenBazaar is a completely decentralized peer-to-peer software application. It's a desktop application that allows you to buy and sell anything you want anywhere in the world to anyone else using Bitcoin absolutely free. And here's some examples of what the current product looks like. In the middle is just a transaction that's going through, and these are what the listings look like. So why are decentralized marketplaces even important to begin with? Well, in the centralized model, which we have right now, which works great, Amazon, eBay, Taobao, these others, the infrastructure is completely centrally controlled. So they're distributed, there are servers all over the world, but they're not decentralized. There's a common entity that runs the entire marketplace. The platform owner is essentially the gatekeeper. All of your identity and the data that you have stored within your storefront is all on their servers. They control it. It goes through their systems. They can see it, mine it, do whatever they do with it. And for the benefit of providing this platform, they will have take rates that are greater than about 10%, which is the fees that they charge you in order to do business on the marketplace. Usually it's around 15%. And then one interesting piece, which is different in OpenBazaar, is that they monopolize the dispute resolution process. So they serve as the arbiter of any problems that you have within any transactions you have between a merchant and a buyer. They're all facilitated by the marketplace itself. And you really have a limited appeal process, et cetera. In OpenBazaar, the infrastructure is completely decentralized. There are no central servers for OpenBazaar. We don't host any in a data center. Basically, all the applications talk to each other, just like you do with Bitcoin. There's no gatekeeper. All the transactions that occur on the network are between each peer, encrypted. They don't pass through our servers. We don't know how many people use the system. We don't know how many people purchase, what they purchase, who they are, how much it costs. We have no idea any of that information. There's absolutely no take rate. There's no fees beyond the Bitcoin transaction fees. And there's an actual independent market for dispute resolution. Anybody can become a moderator on the network and help people, smooth over a transaction, get a refund, process a dispute. Anybody can do that and charge whatever fee they want to, which makes it much more competitive and tends to lead to better outcomes for people because you can actually choose who you want to deal with rather than have to go by default and deal with Amazon's customer support or whoever. Why is this any better than having my own website or using Amazon? Well, for one, it's an extremely simple setup. There's no registration process. All it takes is downloading the application and running it. You set up your store and you're done. Everything's completely free. There's no listing fees. There's no ads. There's no referral fees like Amazon charges. There's no credit card fees. Privacy. So all of the data that is necessary to facilitate a transaction, only the people that need to know that get it. Your shipping address only goes to the merchant when you purchase something. What you're looking at, your history, your buying history, your selling history, all that stuff is completely private. It's only stored on your machines. And it's completely encrypted. All communication is end-to-end encrypted. No one can man in the middle attack it. And there's no restrictions. So these centralized companies have a huge, massive list of rules and restrictions, things you can and can't sell, places you can and can't sell to, ship to, and they have to completely adjust that from time to time based on rules and regulations. In this case, the users themselves determine what is actually appropriate for the marketplace. So is it still really necessary to have these types of products? Well, there are many different use cases where this is pretty much your only option for doing things in a safe way. So down here in the middle, this is a picture, I got this from Code to Inspire. which is an organization run by Fereşte Frug, and she helps women in Afghanistan earn Bitcoin by doing things online. And so we're talking about a country where in order to use a bank account, they have to have one of their male family members escort them to that and actually do the transactions for them. So this gives them a little bit more independence and freedom to start their own businesses and make an earning for their family. One reason I think that OpenBazaar is kind of the next step of this is that they're earning Bitcoin, but at some point they have to actually move that Bitcoin back into fiat. And then that's taking them back to another centralized institution. If we have a circular economy and a marketplace like OpenBazaar that's successful, you don't ever have to go out of your Bitcoin. They can go online and write blog posts, earn Bitcoin, go in the marketplace and buy something with that Bitcoin, and they never have to deal with the rules and restrictions and regulations that are in their home country. It's completely independent. Then you have drug marketplaces. I'm not condoning drug marketplaces necessarily, but like the idea of being able to sell anything you want is a concept that's espoused in these marketplaces. It proves that there's a huge need for this. I mean, you're talking about marketplaces that sell not just illicit and harmful drugs, but generic pharmaceuticals that maybe are very cheap in another country, say inhalers or something, or EpiPens that you could get shipped to your country. I mean, that's up to you to decide whether or not the regulations, you're going to comply with them, but these marketplaces are happening right now in a centralized fashion, and they're putting individuals at risk for running these marketplaces, obviously with Ulbricht going to jail for life just for facilitating these marketplaces. So a decentralized fashion puts the power back in the hands of the people to determine what's right and wrong. And then this last one is a data center in India where they're actually doing Mechanical Turk and earning Bitcoin, or earning Amazon gift cards. And there was a recent interview with Bitcoin Uncensored. They talked to Andrew from Purse, and they explained that these Indian people are earning Amazon gift cards, which they don't want. They want rupees or whatever from India, and they have to convert it. So they're selling these gift cards onto Purse and exchanging them to get to Bitcoin. And OpenBazaar could be another option for this kind of model. They could sell those gift cards on OpenBazaar for Bitcoin and get out of it that way. So there's a lot of different interesting use cases that allow you to get around rules and restrictions in your country. So why hasn't OpenBazaar taken over the world yet? These are just some of the issues that we've experienced over the last year as we rolled it out. Just not enough sellers and buyers yet. Hard to compare with an Amazon. The trust model is still really new, and people are trying to figure out how to best facilitate that moderation, third-party support. We don't have a web or a mobile app yet. It's coming. And the search experience in the app is really, really awful. So it forces people to have to build crawlers that provide a better experience. We're working on that as well. And at the moment, there's no anonymity. So decentralized apps and projects, they have a lot of problems, but most of them are around user experience. The technology is super complex, and you can go way into the weeds for this. I just realized there's a screen right here. Okay. And OpenBazaar, one of our main goals is to make sure that the app is usable for everybody. I shouldn't have to understand how a multi-signature transaction works out underneath the covers in order to use this product to buy and sell goods. It just doesn't make any sense. So user experience is first and foremost. Bitcoin's still not mainstream enough yet. People still have a perception that in general that it's for drugs or whatever, and that's something that we're fighting as a community. Software reliability. All this open source software is really great, but you have to have good developers that continue to build good software, stay with the project. You have to incentivize them to stay with the project and not get bored and move on to the next thing. And community governance is also a very difficult thing to do right. As we see in Bitcoin itself, it's not as easy as just making people happy. So what are we doing about it with OpenBazaar 2.0? So these are a couple screenshots of the actual app as it is right now today, working, functioning. And this is what it's going to look like. What's changing? The most significant change is we're moving our underlying infrastructure to IPFS. If you don't know anything about IPFS, it is it's a decentralized distributed data network, and it is very similar to, it has roots in Git and BitTorrent. So when somebody retrieves data from your node, you actually can seed that data and spread it across the network. Currently, OpenBazaar, all the data that you have is stored on the node that created it. And so if that node goes offline, then so does that store or that buyer. We're also integrating a native SPV wallet into the app, so you don't have to have a separate wallet from the application anymore. We're going to have Tor support, so anonymity is coming. We have it working, and it's going to be pretty exciting to open it up to all of the people that are very concerned about extreme privacy. Better inventory management, improved dispute resolution. Right now, if something happens, sometimes your funds can get locked up forever. We're going to be implementing some time releases. Third-party search, and offline support, which is a huge one. People don't want to have to run the app all the time in order to keep their store up. Now, your store will be up no matter what, even if you go off the network, at least for a certain period of time before you have to come back online. And you'll also be able to purchase things offline. So you could conceivably sell something to somebody over here offline with the app, and then you jump online and broadcast a transaction, and it would happen on the Bitcoin network. Here's a screenshot, another screenshot of it. This is going to be the new search experience. Here's our new wallet. You can see the transaction is going to be a little bit different. You can choose your moderator. You can do a moderated transaction or a regular transaction. There's another screen from our wallet. We're going to have new encrypted chat. We're working on making the Signal protocol work for IPFS, and that would be similar to Telegram or any of the other bots and use the same protocol. And a little bit more about the privacy and anonymity that's changing in 2.0. Currently, we don't have anonymity. The idea for that was that we didn't want to encourage all of the darknet marketplaces to immediately move over and then scare off just every other type of user. So we've waited until now to do that, and we're really excited to bring that in. It's been a huge goal of ours. Our new investor that we just brought on recently actually is an investor in Tor, so we have good relationship with all of these groups, and we want to support that. In our native wallet, we'll have Tor support and support stealth transactions, which is new, so that means no one will be able to actually look at the blockchain and see that that's an OpenBazaar transaction or who's involved. And we'll be setting up Tor hidden service endpoints for all of our other services, like our Bitcoin ticker and things like that. So the future, better third-party development tools. We're going to have a web and mobile version. We're looking at doing streaming media sales. If you want to stream video or audio, you can actually charge like that. Better reputation identity system, something we're always working on. We're going to have channel management tools, which is really cool. We're going to have this feature called channels, which are very similar to Pinterest pin boards. So you can curate content that you find on the network, like cool listings, and actually get paid a referral fee for driving traffic to those stores if people purchase through your channel. And then longer term, obviously we'd like to see Lightning Network and the SegWit stuff come through, and we'll be implementing that as it becomes viable. So now if you want to know more, you can go and download the current version at openbazaar.org right now. You can join us in our Slack, which is about 3,700 people talking about OpenBazaar, or our IRC channel. And if you're a developer and you want to take a look at the new 2.0 version, today we're going to be releasing the first installable working beta of 2.0, and you can get it at that address there. And you can't do everything yet, but you can get a feel for what the next version is going to look like and how stable it's going to be. It's really, really great. So check it out, and appreciate your time today. Thank you. Decentralized search, peer-to-peer search, is just difficult to do, computer science-wise, right? Because the data that you need to search and index and optimize is on all these different nodes that are kind of coming in and out of the network. So it's not an easily solvable problem in a decentralized fashion. So OB1 will be building a crawler that crawls that entire network, indexes listings just like Google does to the internet, and then we're going to pipe in that third-party data into the app. And when we do that, then we have the opportunity to do promoted listings for merchants that want to promote to the top of the search results. We can do advertising, things like that. So very traditional model. That's one idea. But if the network scales to a massive amount of users, there's going to be a ton of different opportunities to make profit on top of that without tainting the core protocol. So the answer is we don't quite know yet, but we're hoping that once we get there, then we'll figure it out. Anybody else?
How are you guys not
So there's some critical differences, right? Obviously between like the Silk Road and OpenBazaar. So one is they had centralized servers that one person managed. So it's very easy for somebody who doesn't like that service to go and find that person in that data center. Well, it's not easy, but they did it, and shut them down and close it. And that marketplace goes off the internet. In this case, the whole network is all these nodes all around the world. If you wanted to shut that entire network down, if they were all selling drugs everywhere, you'd have to go to every single computer and shut it down, or you'd have to figure out some kind of flaw in the protocol. So it's a much more resilient infrastructure. So it's completely different. And why won't they come after OB1 or OpenBazaar? I mean, stranger things have happened, I don't know, but we don't really store any data, we don't facilitate any transactions, we don't monetize anything, right? We're just building open source software. I mean, if I build knives and someone kills somebody with a knife, sometimes depending on what you're doing, maybe you're responsible, but like you built the knife for another purpose, or it's just a general utility tool. So that's how we view it as well. Thank you.